ॐ नमो नारायण। 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 ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं शङ्करं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। That is Sadhana Panchakam. Can you go to this slide, number 1? Where Shankaracharya, the great visionary of Advaita Vedanta, which today's science and today's all philosophers appreciate as the highest vision of oneness. For there cannot be end of violence unless discovery of oneness is done. So long as there is difference between person to person, country to country, nation to nation, culture to culture, community to community, there can never be any peace. The peace that we all seek, even at home, is only when we end the differences. When the differences are more, then love is less. The Upanishads declare, Etasmin udaramantaram kurude atatasya bhayam bhavati. The fear is also caused by the differences. When I see somebody else who is different from me, I always have a lurking fear about that another person being danger to me. Where one sees oneself in the other, there is no fear at all. So this simple truth that end of differences is the attainment of peace. These all thinkers have understood that, but how did it become a philosophy? So Hindu philosophy is that in its vision is proclaiming that there is only one. The one itself is appearing as many. It is only an appearance that we are afraid of. Once you know it is only an appearance, just like a father who is a police officer wearing his dress of a cop, and he at the street, of course, he is afraid, he was feared by everybody, especially the thieves and other thugs. And anybody who is trying to break the law, obviously then Uncle Sam is around us or cop is around us, then they will properly follow the rules. The fear is because he is trying to establish a law or trying to maintain the law, traffic law or whatever. The same police officer, when he comes home with the same dress, the child, his own son, even though he looks at the dad with the dress of a cop, is not afraid of him. He has a gun, all right, both sides. He's wearing the cop's dress, but the child does not look at the dress. He looks at the father. He goes and embraces the father and says, "Daddy, you come home." Why? Because the child has recognized the daddy, the father, in spite of the dress. That my dear daddy who takes care of me, he loves me. Why? The appearance of name and form has no relevance when it comes to the love of oneness. Just like the child going around and playing in the mud, etc. When the child comes home, the mother goes and embraces the child and kisses him in spite of the fact that he is so dirty. Because the child is seen by the mother as my own, my own self. Then after all, she will give him one and then clean up. But when she sees the child, she doesn't say, "Oh, dirty, don't get away from this place." No. Kiss him or kiss her and then clean up and then make him, and then again he will go and do the same thing. In the same way, when we renounce the importance that we give to the name and form and look at the core of all living being, we recognize that there is only one loving presence of the Lord. Irrespective of the caste, color, creed, culture, name, fame, form, position, prestige, status, all that is irrelevant. This is the vision of the Advaita Vedanta, the one without a second. Shankaracharya had established this philosophy not for the Hindus alone, it is for the universal peace. And to attain that is a very difficult process, no doubt, because we have been so succumbed to or so used to seeing only differences. Our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, all of them are designed to see only differences. With the eyes we see colors of red and blue and white and green and yellow and other things. With the eyes you cannot see the oneness. With the nose you cannot smell the oneness. With the ears you cannot hear the oneness. With the tongue you cannot taste the oneness. With the skin you cannot feel the oneness. Because these sense organs are meant for seeing and experiencing only differences. So therefore it is said it is atindriya vastu, ati indriyam, beyond the sense organs. Mind is variety of emotions and feelings. With the mind which is having so many varieties of emotions also you cannot see that oneness. With the intellect you can understand but you cannot experience it. So therefore it is said, as Gurudev would say, going beyond the body, mind and intellect, understanding the supreme presence of the oneness is the attempt of Vedanta. Having reached which a person becomes a man of ultimate unconditional love. For such an individual no more chooses to love and chooses to hate. There is no choice anymore. Choicelessly he will be happy and choicelessly he will be loving and compassionate. He doesn't discriminate people based upon the caste or color or country or culture. And that was the nature of a Mahatma, a saint. We are not going to be that easily a saint of that caliber, but at least we can attempt to reduce the differences between each one of us. Not by changing you or changing anything else, but changing the vision. So that is the reason why the study of the scriptures are given as important. Vedo nityam adhiyata. The first one he says, please study the scriptures which will help you to overcome your these limitations created by your own mind. Unfortunately, we are educated in such a way we can only strengthen our own individuality all the time. Ego is constantly being given so much of strength by more we know, more separate we become. Unfortunately, I know, you don't know. I am this and you are not this. I have so and so and you are not this. And this is how we keep on separating ourselves. Unfortunately, it happens between husband and wife, parent and children, friends to friend. Based upon what we possess, what we own, and that is what we give importance to. So, Vedaha Nityam Adhiyadam. Study the scriptures that teach you the oneness, the universal vision. And action should be performed based upon that understanding. Tadudidam karma swanushtiyatam. The second instruction is, based upon what is given there in the scriptures, may you undertake your action. Knowledge translated into action alone can really give at least external result. Action should be an expression of your understanding. We can also engage in action without any understanding also. But when it becomes an expression of knowledge, you can benefit more and more. And then he says, may your actions be done to understand this Lord's presence in you. Teneshasya vidhiyatam. Tena, by which karmana, by that action, which is born out of jnanam, jnano utpattida karmana, jnana karmana, by that action born out of knowledge, jnanodita karmana, tena ishasya vidhiyatam. May you discover the Lord. The Lord which is present within you, without you, antarbahishcha, inside and outside. And he says, apachitihi kamye madhistyajyadam. When you are offering your actions as an offering to the Lord, then alone you are even time to engage in your own desired actions will reduce. When my actions are 100% only for me, for me, for me, for me, for me. I recently saw the Times magazine, those who have received the Time magazine. The cover, I think it is past week or something, the cover is me generation. This generation is only about me. And then one girl is lying down there and taking this iPhone and taking picture of herself. Me, 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 me. All the time, me, me, me. Put in the Facebook, distribute it everywhere. It's all about me, what I want, what I like, what I'm doing. When I'm coming down, I'm just, yesterday I was coming. So as soon as the plane lands, ring, everywhere. And then everywhere, oh, I'm just coming down, and then I'm picking up my luggage and coming down, and I'm opening this, and I'm falling down. I'm just, continuously engaged in what I want, what I do. Let the whole world know what I'm doing. Let the world know where I am. Me generation. So, in this kind of a generation where we are, you and I are, unfortunately are, there is no concept of doing something to someone. Only to me, my family, immediate. The community is discarded. The people around us are no more a matter for me. Anyway, so apachitihi kamme madistijyatam. So slowly come out of that me, only my and I want. Come out of that slowly. Actions dedicated to the Lord and performed in that way brings you a greater vision of life, broader sense of oneness. And thus, therefore, 4 instructions in one single statement, he said, Vedo nityamadiyadam tadudidam karmasvanushtiyatam tenishasya vidiyadam apachitihi kamye madisthyachadam. Continuing. Next slide. Repeat after me. Papauga paridhuyatam Bhavasuke Doshonu Santiyatam Atmecha Vyavasiyatam Nijagruhat Turnam Vinirgamyatam. The 5th instruction that Shankaracharya gives here is Papa Ogha Pariduyatam. Only when we start recognizing our actions are constantly being monitored by the Lord within us, then alone a person can live in morality. Morality does not come because of the external laws and regulations. That they are called legal, lawful. So you may be legally right, you may be lawfully right, but not morally right in many places. Morality is not the social custom or social injunction. It is to be kept up by an individual. Perhaps religion will teach you to some extent. Morality and ethics, therefore, are not the responsibilities of the law of the land. They only say, are you legally right or lawfully doing? That's it. You can continue to say lie and be legally right also. They are called therefore lawyers. You can legally be right but morally wrong. So that is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am there as a constant witness to whatever you are doing. Upadrashta anumantacha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmedi udahradaha lok dehesmin purushaparaha. I am closely watching what you are doing. Upadrashta. Upa means samipe. Drashta, seer. I am closely watching what you are doing. Anumanta, and I don't stop you from what you are doing. I allow it. Anumantru, meaning I allow. Anumadim dadati. Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara, the one who is present here watching and not participating in what you do and make you do everything, he is the witness within. Paramatma iti udahradaha, that one who is understood to be the Paramatma, where? Dehe asmin, in this very body which you and I are. And so in this chart you see Paramatma, the Om, is present where you are. So when we recognize that what I say, what I do, manasa, vachasa, karmana, by speech, by action, by mind, I can fool everybody in the world, but not myself. And even if you are doing your own self, cheating yourself, there is someone who can never be. Who? The one who is watching, not participating. So when we recognize that actions are performed in the praise of the Lord, for the Lord's sake, dedicated to the Lord, not someone outside to whom I am giving. It is the one who is watching from within, to him I dedicate. Tera tujhko arpan. Don't we say that every time? I am giving back to you what you have given back to me, given to me. What I have is your grace, and I am just bringing it back to you. So the Lord within, when it is recognized, then only papogha, the host of all the sins, will go away. Gurudev used to say, sin is nothing but self-insulting actions. S-I-N. Self-insulting. You are convinced about something what is right, but you are going against it. That's called sin. So therefore, pavoga pariduyatam, get out of that sinful action, not as because others are saying so, or because it is not legally right, because it is morally against you. It is against the Lord who is within you. Against, you are insulting the Lord who is within you. When you go to a temple, a church, or whatever the place of worship, you do not do the wrong, you do not say abusive words. Why? Because you are in the proximity and presence of the Lord, or some respectable person in front of you whom you do not say. Why? Because you respect that person's presence. In the same way, if the Lord is present in you, how can you be, doing something which is not right? Even if you have done so, make sure that you don't repeat it. So here Shankaracharya says, come out of, recognize this presence and come out of it. Here again, this is not a what do you call? I cannot say it's commandment where if you don't do, you go to hell. No, nothing like that. You don't go to hell by rejecting this. You will live in hell. by not following, nobody is going to go anywhere. You are creating the hell for yourself. That's why when you are breathing and doing pranayama, what you should say? Inhale, exhale. So the Lord is present in you, and then how can you disrespect that presence here by doing something wrong? Of course, if you are habitually used to doing something wrong, saying lies and doing all those things, now become aware. The Lord is tolerating that constantly, and then He's just watching, He's not interfering with you. And when we overcome these kind of action and thoughts and etc., you go closer to Him and start enjoying His presence. It's like creating a fire somewhere with a cold winter night. You create fire and stay far away from that. Obviously, you cannot get the heat. Why? Not that the fire is not giving the heat. You are far away. When I thus slowly approach the fire, I start enjoying the warmth of it. In the same way, when the mind is devoid of these impurities, I start experiencing the joyful presence of the Lord who is watching all the time. And He is very patiently standing there. You will come one day. I know it. Where can you go? So that is what Upanishad says, tad dure tadu antike. Tad antarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bhakyata. It is far for somebody who doesn't recognize this. It is so close to a person who knows it. Tad dure ajnaninam, that for the men who do not know it is far away. Jnaninam tu tadu antike. It is so close. Tadu antarasya sarvasya. Not only in me, everybody's presence. In everybody it is the same. Tadu sarvasyasya bhakyata. At the same time, he is outside as well. So, papoga pariduyatam. So, it is not something you need to do because others will feel bad or not right. It is not right for me. The connection will happen only when you do the correction. The correction that you need to do, nobody else. Then the connection with the Lord will establish. So, fifth instruction he says, please come out of the sinful actions and thoughts and speech, because of which you are alienating yourself from your own holy divine presence, and in the absence of which, of all these unethical, immoral, sinful thoughts, actions and speech, you will come to recognize beautiful presence of your own being. Papoga pariduyatam. And somebody would say, Swamiji, I am trying to do this, but people around me won't allow me to do that. This is the usual excuse everybody would give. See, I am very, very pure person, Swamiji. But people around me are so immoral, unethical. What can I do? So here Shankaracharya knows such kind of excuse people give. So next instruction he says, Bhavasuke doshaha anusandhiyatam. The joy that we try to derive out of the world by various ways, understand, will not remain for a long time. Everything has got other side. This is called dosha darshanam, dosha drishti. Not dosha drishti. Dosha is you get it in some hotel or something. Dosha means defect. That means nothing in this world that is created will ever remain in the same condition for a long time. No relationship will be everlasting. No experience from anything can be forever. Not only that, anything that you enjoy today, when it goes away, you are high and dry, you are gone, finished. We are constantly in that condition, going up and down, up and down, up and down. And we enjoy the jolly ride of going up and down. It's like going the roller coaster also. You cry. You enjoy that also. Why? You won't have that excitement, that adventurous. No doubt. Temporarily it is fine. But every day it is the life. Then what will happen? That's why I often tell this to people. You go to Disneyland, it says, most happiest place on earth. Right? Does it not say happiest place on earth? You go and ask the person who is working there. It's the most terrible place on earth to live. Why? Because for the people who are visiting and enjoying for 2-3 days, it is the happiest place. But the fellow who is working there day and night, it's a hell. What I mean by that is, when that ups and downs and this continuous change has become a nature of everyday life, thak gaya hu main, Swamiji, thak gaya hu. I'm fine. I'm done. I'm done with this life. Many people by the age of 40, 45, they want to give up life. What to talk of those youngsters now? Oh, she is no more looking at me. I'm dying. What happens is we give too much importance to temporary things. That is our problem. And we conveniently forget about what is permanently there. Two things. We give too much importance to temporary thing and no importance to what is always there. So here, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, please just let us think right. Pay attention to what is permanent and do not give undue importance to what is temporary. You cannot avoid it, but engage with caution. Knowing that it will not remain for a long time. Gurudev used to say, even this will pass away. That should be your understanding. Even this will pass away. Nothing will remain in the same condition. Does not mean you become bitter and indifferent and unconcerned. No, you do what you are going to do. That is why kartavya karma, or doing your action as the best as possible, should be done with as an offering to the Lord. But pay attention to what is permanent, what is always there. Bhavasuke, in the joys of the world, doshaha, defects, impermanence, anusandiyata, think about it. It's a constant vigilance over temporary nature of things and knowing the other side of the coin, seeing the other side of the coin, knowing that there is another side. Joy will follow by sorrow. Success will be followed by failure. Gain will be followed by loss. Winter will follow by the summer. You cannot stop. That is the way of the world. You cannot stop it. Somebody will be very close to you and then happy with you, and after some time they will change your mood, their mood, or you change your mood, because both are mood only. So, therefore, no mind will remain the same. No tongue will remain the same taste. You will have taste for something today and tomorrow you may not like it. Something you are so close to, tomorrow you will just get out of it. That's the nature of things. Don't become victimized by these things. Bhavasuke, therefore, joys that you derive in this world, doshaha, the defect of limitation, anusandiyata, think about it. So, these are all common sense. The problem is common sense is that which is not common. That's what Swami Vivekananda beautifully said. Common sense is that which is not common. We know it, but we don't follow it. We have not common sense, we have common sense. We only go behind what is common and not what is common. Our desire takes you against this common sense. Okay. So that is the sixth instruction gives. Bhavasuke doshon sandiyatam. Now, all these above said 6 of them will become most important only to that person who really wants to know and to become enlightened about one's own self. For a person who is very busy in the world, wanting to only the worldly laurels and achievements, these are not important. Therefore, the 7th statement he says, Atma Ichcha Vyavasiyata. Atmanaha Ichcha. Desire to know the self, desire to be the self, Vyavasiyatam. Vyavasaya means to cultivate. Cultivate constantly the desire to be with your own being, with your own self. Yesterday also I was telling, I was in somebody's house the day before yesterday. I was in, so there, I was about to leave. So I said, okay, I want to meet all the members of the family. So they had 3 boys and 2 of them were busy, whatever they were doing. So mother called, come on, Swamiji is about to leave, come on, come down. They were, because they were all with highly Shravana Mahima, they were listening to something, so they were not even listening to. So she called 2-3 times, no response at all. So I said, you do one thing, what? Go and unplug the router. Just do it. Why? And you just do it. So they went and unplugged this router, that internet. Within few seconds, Mom! There was a, yes, what happened? Who stopped the router? Oh, why is not working? The power is not. They were both come down. That's right. Now we wanted you to go. Easiest way is to unplug it. Why did you do that? Yeah, because you're not listening to you're listening to music. Now you're not listening anymore. Come sit down. Because see, the idea is that we are so engrossed with our own self-created world. Atma Ichcha, desire for the self. Who is there? So I said, okay, sit down. Now, so they sat down. Next 15 minutes, you are going to sit down doing nothing. What? Doing nothing. Meaning what? Meaning you are not going to do anything. No books? No. No TV? No. No iPhone? No. No browsing? No. Can't talk to you also? No. Even few seconds you could not say. And how this, I mean, ask yourself, can you do that? And you come and Swamiji, meditation is so difficult because you can't be with yourself. Our mind has to be occupied with something or the other all the time. We have lost touch with ourselves. We are always saying away from our own being. And I'll tell you, please pardon me, when you get old, whatever be when it is, whenever, you cannot tolerate yourself. Why? You can't do anything. And that is the time you realize how difficult is your mind. Now you are busy, the mind is taking you here and there, so you are busy with whatever you are doing. But when your faculties fail, your physical body is frail, and then you cannot do anything else, then at that time when you have to stay with yourself. Oh, Vriddhastava Chinta Sakta. Nobody is ready to listen to you also. I should not have married this person. I made a mistake. 50 years back I made a mistake. At least next birth, oh Bhagavan, give me the right wisdom, either to not get married or to marry the right person. And how do I know the right person? Only after living I know what a mistake I did. Or I should not have done this, I should not have. So, Vriddhastava Chinta, this was Shankaracharya says, a man who has become old lives in his own regrets. You cannot get up, you need help for this, help for that, do this. So, before the world kicks you, know how to be with you, yourself. So, once in a while, therefore, just take off from everything. Just stay with yourself, doing nothing but being with yourself. Atma Ichcha means desiring to be with one's own being. Here, not the ego, not the mind, not the thoughts, not the emotion, not the feelings, not this and that, but your own higher self, leaving aside all other things. This you should cultivate slowly, slowly, slowly. And whatever gadgets you use, whatever things you occupy with yourself, they are all escape routes from yourself. You're escaping from yourself all the time. And then they are not there, or when you are fatigued or when you are tired of them, then you realize that you cannot tolerate yourself. Only time when we are with ourselves is sleep. And that time also we do not know whether that we are with ourselves. Sleep. Get up. Don't you feel so fresh after a nice, beautiful sleep? Maybe 6 hours, 7 hours. Not in now, but in your home when you're sleeping. Swamiji, your speech were very, very peaceful, because I slept through. That's not what I'm talking about. So, just like a sleep can give you so much of energy and refreshing physical energy, is because your body has taken rest. If you can consciously give that rest to your mind, you will be so fresh all the time. That 10 minutes, 15 minutes of being with yourself will be a fuel for 23.5 hours of work. With untiring work. I have seen this, that's why I'm saying. Puju Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda, such other great masters, endless enthusiasm, energy, constantly working, ability to be happy irrespective of what happens. Move on, do things. That is because they have gained the secret of deriving maximum energy from their own self. So, Atma Ichcha, the desire to be with oneself, that is to be cultivated. Vyavasiyatam. For which the last instruction is most important. Nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyatam. Get out of your present house called ego. Nija swa grihat ahankarat. Turnam, quickly. Vinirgamyatam. Get out. Literal meaning is get out of the house, but not house, but because house is just a physical shell. That is not the house, is that what you create here. Your own confinement, the fort of ego. The ego that holds you back. The ego that makes you identify and get attached to. The ego that wants respect, demands attention, notice, demands all other things from the world. That griha, grihnadi idi griha, that which pulls you back. That griha, nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyatam. So the ego self should be discarded and the real self to be desired for. The ego self constantly attaches itself to something or the other, they're trying to derive its strength from it. And that is why it is said that even in Ramayana, when Sri Rama was ready to kill Vali, he understood Vali has a particular power. The power of Vali is whoever comes in front of him, immediately half of the power will be gone to that person, not to Vali. If you stand in front of him, half of the power of the opponent will be of Vali. That's the reason Sugriva could never win him. So Sugriva said, please make sure that Vali is killed. He said, don't worry, go. He went there, he was thrashed. So he came back and said, why you said that you will protect me, you will take care of it, what you did do? You didn't kill Vali. He said, I didn't see the difference between you and him. So I will give you a garland, you wear, then I will know who is you and who is Vali. So he wore that garland and then Rama attacked from behind. It's symbolically to express our ego and the self are look alike. The real self and the ego self cannot be differentiated easily. And the ego self is that which always derives power against, for half of the power of the opponent it will be used. So the Bhagavad Bhakti is that where you first of all recognize who is your real self and with his self you kill the ego self from the hideout. Lord will help you overcome that ego self. That is the symbolic meaning of that. So Atmaicha Vivasiyatam Nijagrihat Turnam Vinirgamyatam. So these are the 8 instructions in one verse. We have 4 more verses to go. We'll see it when we meet next year. Because next Sunday when we meet, we will have a question answer session on the 2nd of June. So prepare your questions. We will be given a small, card for you to write questions, and then I will answer that. Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhaved. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.